Hello and welcome everyone. So today in this video we will create another React custom hook, usePageBottom. So this hook is responsible for telling us whether the user has scrolled all the way down to the bottom of the page. If the user has scrolled all the way down to the bottom of the page, we will print is bottom is true, else is bottom will remain as value false. So if in this example, if I scroll to the bottom of the page, I can see that my is bottom value changes to true. And if I again scroll to the top, I can see that my is bottom value changes to false. So this is a pretty basic hook, and this hook can be beneficial when you want to perform some kind of operation when the user is scrolled down to the very bottom of the page, such as loading some additional content or showing some kind of metrics and all. So let's try to code this up. I'll remove this hook and I'll just keep this line as is, and we'll print is bottom value as true or false depending on whether we are at the bottom of the page. It will be true, else it will be false, and this bottom will be a value that will get returned from my use bottom hook, which we'll create just now. So if I create use bottom hook, I'll create a state variable, and this will have a default value of false. Now on use effect, I will create an event listener, and I want to run this use effect only once, and at the end I'll return the value, and here I'll add event listener on my window, and this will fire when I am scrolling or user is scrolling, and I'll call handle scroll that I will call create just now. And I will clean up this function, remove this event listener on my component unmount as a cleanup. So I'll create this handle scroll function now. Function handle scroll, and I'll declare is bottom value. So is bottom value, it will be true when my document element dot offset height minus document element dot scroll top plus window dot inner height is less than equal to, say, a buffer of 10 pixels. If it is this, if this condition matches, I'll set my value to is bottom. So let's save this, and I refresh this and see if it works, and I can see it works, that when I scroll to the bottom the value becomes true, else the value is false. So what I'm checking here is I'm checking if my offset height, that is the content of all that is the whole document height including the scrolling height, so the whole document height minus my scroll top height, that is how much I've scrolled from the top, plus my inner height, that is the content that is visible in my viewport. So if this plus this and the whole sum of this, if I subtract it from this, should be less than equal to 10. I'm not doing equal to 0. I'm not doing strictly equal to 0 because there can be some margin available due to some margin on my window. So I'm just like, it should not be strictly equal, because like it does not always match to it does not always match 0 if you have some kind of content or if you have some kind of margin already available on your DOM. So like it's always better to have some kind of buffer here, not a big buffer but a small buffer like 5 or 10. So if the difference comes less than 10, then I know that the user is almost scrolled to the bottom or the user is at the bottom. So if the user is almost to the bottom or the user is at the bottom, I'll just set the value to true, else the value will be false, and this event listener will get fired when I'm scrolling. So this was a pretty basic example of creating a use bottom hook that detects whether the user is scrolled to the bottom or not. So this was all for today. I'll see you in next one.